Welcome to another episode of the Money Wheel Podcast. The journey to wealth starts here with your host, Don Shade.
Hello, my friend and future millionaire. Welcome to this episode of the Money Wheel. My name is Don Shade. In the last episode, I covered how to start carrying cash in your wallet or in your pocketbook, whatever the situation may be. And I went into some of the things about how you're going to feel different if you're carrying cash on you. What I'd like to do in this episode is kind of continue that and move forward to a couple of the key points here that I want to hit. What we want to do is get you built up. Even if you're flat broke today, I'm sure there's somewhere that you can come up with $5 a week and start putting that money in your wallet. And like I said, on the second week, you're going to trade your $5 in and put a $10 bill in its place and move up to a $20, that sort of thing. But we're going to assume that you're broke, and we're going to go with the $5 a week principle. Now, obviously, if you're somebody that is better off than that, what we're looking to do, I want you to be able to carry $500 cash in your wallet. That is emergency money, so to speak. And the reason I do that, it gives you the mindset that you have money. It doesn't matter what your debts are. It doesn't matter what kind of payments you're making, that sort of thing. It's all a mindset that, hey, I have cash on me. Should something come up, I would be able to handle it. If your parents called today and said, hey, do you want to go for dinner? You have cash in your wallet that you could pick up the tab and it's not a big deal. It's all about the mindset that it gives you carrying cash. You're not just making transactions that, okay, let me use my card. Here's what happens. People get paid every single week or every other week, however your pay scale works, and they really don't pay attention to that money because they'll use a debit card for a lot of purchases. So it takes the feeling away of, oh, I just spent $20. It's like, oh, I just used a credit card. Well, I'll pay for it at the end of the month. First thing you know, your credit card balances are creeping up. What happens with your debit card is you start using it for more and more transactions, and first thing you know, the first check that you get out of the month, you've spent that money. And then another check comes and you spend that money also. And then what you start to realize, you're coming to the end of the month and you're out of money. There's never any savings. And I hear people say to me all the time, they're like, well, I'll tell you what, Don, I would put that money on a credit card to pay the bill down. I'm paying 18-20% interest on my credit card. Why would I carry that money around in my wallet? You're missing the point. And the point of the whole exercise is this. I want you to get accustomed to carrying cash. Once we get past the $500 mark, then you can start putting it into the bank and that sort of thing. And that's another thing that people say to me, well, with that $500, I would put that in a savings account. Well, let me tell you, financial genius, the problem is you don't have $500 right now. If you're somebody that's broke, you're scraping, you're trying to figure out how to get started again. And the way to get started again is to be able to pay yourself first. Obviously, we're going to take care of keeping the lights on, paying your rent, that kind of thing. But I want you to start scraping money up towards building wealth. I want you to get back to having cash in your pocket. Don't use a card for every transaction. Start learning that you're going to pull cash out, you're going to pay for something. That's everything I have for this episode of The Money Wheel. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Money Wheel Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and like the podcast. For everything that was talked about in today's amazing show, go to moneywheelpodcast.com and get today's show notes, past episodes, and most importantly, you can connect with Don Shade on all his social media platforms. Again, at moneywheelpodcast.com. If you are just looking to email Don, you can email him at don@moneywheelpodcast.com. For a list of all our tools we use in our business, you can go to moneywheelpodcast.com/resources. Again, thank you for listening to today's podcast, and see you in our next episode of the Money Wheel Podcast.